closing in at about 3.8 meters per second. The station
range rate -3.
in its current configuration has it's about 240 feet long. That's the pressurized length of all of the modules in which the crew members are housed. The truss length, the end-to-end length of that truss with those solar arrays attached, is about 357 feet.
1,000.
The habitable volume of the station, as we see a beautiful view of the Soyuz on its arrival as the two spacecraft track off the coast of New Zealand, headed out across the Pacific. The habitable volume of the station is a little more than 13,600 cubic feet. The overall pressurized volume of the station is more than 32,000 cubic feet. And as mentioned, the current mass is just about 914,000 pounds. The Soyuz will add about 16,000 pounds of mass when it arrives at the station, bringing the station's total mass to just under 930,000 pounds. The station basically the size of a football field if you count the overall size of the station's external components from end to end, both lengthwise and widthwise. By comparison, the Soyuz is a 23.5-foot long spacecraft that's made of 3 different components. The crew members are in the middle component of that Soyuz capsule. The middle part of that Soyuz spacecraft is essentially known as the descent module, because that's the only piece that returns home at the end of a Soyuz spacecraft's mission.
Давай попробуем R5.
Samantha, let's try R5.
Передаю.
Issuing.
В Москве есть торможение, включение
Just breaking depot activation. 600 and -1.8 is range rate.
В Москве наблюдайте как.
Are you watching mission to Moscow? Yes.
Наблюдаем.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Following it, beautiful launch from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan earlier this afternoon, about 5 hours 26 minutes ago. The Soyuz, once it reached orbit, performed a series of automated deployments of its solar arrays and its antenna that are used for that automated rendezvous and docking sequence. As you saw those solar arrays deployed, if you recall, one of the solar arrays did not deploy on the most recent Soyuz arrival, which did not have any impact on the Soyuz's power supply, but and in fact that solar array did deploy shortly after the Soyuz docked to the station. But on this flight today, everything performed as it's expected to, all the way uphill through the ascent phase and also in the on-orbit phase, leading up to the rendezvous and docking sequence that's underway right now. Inside half a kilometer to the station, again, the stage is being set for the fly around so that it can match up with its docking port. Looking right through the crosshairs in the lower right quadrant, you're actually looking at the back end of the Russian segment, to which is docked a European Space Agency automated transfer vehicle, which is a very large cargo vehicle that arrived at the station delivering supplies back in August. That ATV-5, known as the Georges Lemaitre, was provided by the European Space Agency to the International Space Station program. That is one of the current visiting vehicles that make up the overall complement of the station. The other visiting vehicles is a Soyuz 40, which is also the TMA 15M, in which Alexander Samokhutyaev, Elena Serova, and current station commander Butch Wilmore arrived back on Friday, September 26th, following their launch earlier that afternoon. In fact, their launch was almost at the same time as the launch of the current Soyuz that's arriving right now. They launched at 3:25 in the afternoon on Thursday, September 25th. The reports are that the fly-around, which is just about to get underway, should be about a 70-degree fly-around to align with the Rassvet docking port, which is the Earth-facing port on the Russian segment of the station. Also docked to the station is a Progress vehicle, which is pretty much identical in size to a Soyuz. The only difference is it does not house any life support. It is strictly used as a cargo vessel, and the latest Russian Progress vehicle arrived at the station following its launch back at the end of October. So the current Soyuz TMA 15M arriving today is basically will be the fourth of the series of visiting vehicles to the International Space Station, again joining two cargo vehicles and another crew vehicle, the Soyuz 40 or the TMA 15M spacecraft.
Дальность 260, скорость минус 0,5. Принято.
Range 260. Rate negative 0.5. We copy.
Что говоришь? А, трубку принял. Облет. Захват. 250 meters, sorry. Да. Облет.
The crew talking among themselves.
It looks like dawn steering.
The fly-around is underway with the Soyuz, again in an automated rendezvous sequence, as you see one of the
Rate negative 0.4.
sections of the huge solar array pairs that make up four separate pairs of solar energy gathering systems for the International Space Station to provide all of the electrical power to the complex. And the two spacecraft are beginning a trek across the southern Pacific into an orbital sunset here in just a few minutes.
Range 230. Rate 0.2.
And all continuing to go smoothly with the approach of the Soyuz to the station. The fly-around is still underway, expected to end with a station keeping at about 38 minutes after the hour, so about 4 minutes from now.
Course? Depot, no?
The crew talking to one another.
Москве есть причал. Вот, заведен. БВС.
Moscow, we have причал and BVS is ready. Copy.
Проверяем R8.
We're checking R8.
And the fly around is now complete. The Soyuz is now performing a roll maneuver to align, begin the alignment process with the docking interface on the station. And it's Rassvet mini research module.
We have roll maneuver.
And again, now up in the upper left as the roll maneuver continues, that's the ATV-5, and it is docked to the aft end of the Russian segment, the service module that provided the early living quarters for the first expeditions to the International Space Station during its early assembly phase.
Inaudible.
And we have reports that the Soyuz is in a station keeping mode in its approach corridor now.
Выходим на ось почечного узла.
Aligning to the docking port. Copy.
Yes, причал. Есть.
We have причал.
Принято.
Copy.
Экран устанавливать не будем. Включаем подсветку ВСК на брус.
And
Включено.
we're not going to activate the display. We are just going to
S-17.
use the periscope on the SR switch panel.
Мимо один. Принято. Выдаем причаливание. Значит, переходим на страницу 60.
We are going to page 64 and starting.
And now you see right almost in the center of that crosshair is the docking port on the station's Rassvet module, which is permanently docked to the first segment of the International Space Station, the Zarya module, known as the FGB, the first element that was launched back 16 years ago. Just a couple of days ago, November 20th, 1998, the first piece of the station was launched. The assembly phase began about 2 weeks later with the arrival of the first U.S. component that essentially served as the first connecting node to which other modules could be attached.
Or if it's not.
The FGB, or the Zarya control module, you can see faintly the retracted solar rays. Looks like an accordion. Those were retracted long ago as they no longer were needed as the station's solar ray panels were added. They provided ample power capability to the station's systems.
Do you have the light on? Yes, it is on.
as the two spacecraft head into an orbital sunset here in about 5 minutes. So you can very easily see the impulse firings, the thruster firings as the Soyuz aligns itself with the docking compartment.
Try one more time with AGC mode. Range 115 and rate negative 0.67 and copy and send R5. Yes, I'm ready. Rate 0.54 negative. The docking port.
You see darkness falling on the Earth's surface, but the sunlight still bouncing off of the Soyuz spacecraft as the thruster firings occurring as the Soyuz begins to close in on the station at about a very small 4 meters per 4/10 of a meter per second.
If you can use the SCADA periscope. Range 88, rate minus 0.44.
Only 80 meters now from the station. You see the docking port there, just barely up in the upper left quadrant there in the view of the overlay. The actual center of that crosshair is targeting a docking target, not the center of the docking port. So it's aligning perfectly with the docking target as it is supposed to. The docking port on the Soyuz with its probe attaches to that docking port just to the left of the center of the crosshairs.
Range 60, rate negative 0.28. Copy. The target is within 1 degree, left bottom corner. Copy.
Closing it at about 2/10 of a meter per second and about 60 meters away from docking. Targeted docking time, of course, is 53 minutes after the hour. Of course, that is certainly something that can change based on how well the rendezvous profile is going. It's been 5 hours and 42 minutes right now since this Soyuz delivering 3 new crew members to the International Space Station launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. Anton Shkaplerov is the commander of the Soyuz. He'll serve as a flight engineer as part of Expedition 42. This will be his second flight into space, or is his second flight into space, but his second also long-duration mission aboard the International Space Station. He was a crew member of Expedition 29 and 30.
We continue monitoring the rendezvous.
So it's been 3 years since he's visited the station, and the other 2 crew members, Terry Virts, U.S. astronaut, who will transition to be the commander of Expedition 43. This will be his second visit to the station, but his first long-duration stay. He served as a mission specialist on STS-130, delivering one of the connecting nodes known as the Tranquility module to the station. The newest member on her first flight into space is Samantha Cristoforetti, representing the European Space Agency and the Italian Space Agency. She will become the 216th visitor to the International Space Station.
Дальность около 30.
Range about 30.
Принято.
Copy.
Входим в тень. Мишень справа внизу в пределах 1 градуса.
The target is on the bottom right within 1 degree.
The antennas have retracted to make sure that they're out of the way of the docking sequence, and you can see the docking probe there on the Soyuz as it closes in now just under 30 meters from the station, a delicate approach of 1/10 of a meter per second.
In the bottom center within 1 degree.
Стыковочный узел наблюдаю.
I can see the docking port.
Принято.
Copy.
Дальность около 20.
Range about 20.
Принято.
Copy. The target is on the bottom within 1 degree.
Принято.
Copy.
Наблюдаем база Р.
Yes.
Наблюдаем база Р.
We have air.
Метров.
Range is about
Мишень
18.
находится справа.
The target is to the right,
Внизу.
bottom right.
20 meters now.
Мишень справа.
The target is on bottom right within 1 degree.
По размерам мишени дальность около 10.
And judging by the target, we have about 10. Range is about 10.
Значит, 2 клетки мишень, дальность около 6.
Range is about 6.
Собраны.
Crosshairs aligned.
Практически в центре.
Practically in the center. Copy.
Мишень справа.
And you see very clearly the docking target on the Rassvet module, pretty much right on line with the docking port of the module. And we're standing by for contact and capture.
Нормально, Антон.
Anton, everything is fine.
Да, наблюдаю, кресты собраны до 1
Crosshairs are aligned within 1 degree in the center. Everything is stable.
Дальность по мишени около 2 метров.
Range to the target about 2 meters.
Дальность около метра.
Range is about 1 meter. Crosshairs aligned. The target is almost in the center.
Работаем по странице 66.
Expecting contact.
Есть касание.
We have contact.
Принято. Есть цепка.
Yes.
48 minutes after the hour, the Soyuz TMA 15 has arrived at the International Space Station.
Время цепи.
Anton Shkaplerov, Samantha Cristoforetti, and Terry Virts have arrived at their home for the next 6 months. They will remain at the station until May of next year. They will serve as part of the Expedition 42 crew and then transition to the Expedition 43 crew
Total 1.
when the other 3 crew members already aboard the station depart in March.
505.
Propellant 505.
Хорошо, переходим.
So the
Let's go to
TMA 15 launched a docking profile 5 hours and 48 minutes roughly from the time of launch at the Baikonur Cosmodrome to a rendezvous and docking with the space station high above the central Pacific as the orbiting complex approaches the coast of Ecuador, tracking northeasterly, circling the Earth every 92 minutes. So a new vehicle has arrived. The hooks and latches will...
At 18.
Да.
Yes.
Done.
Пожалуйста, РПВ-1.
RPV-1 to closed.
Да. Готово?
And the
РПВ-1
once the docking probe is retracted and the hooks and latches are sealed, we'll get a confirmation of that. And then there's a whole series of checks over the next hour and a half or so that take place, allowing the crew members to basically equalize the pressure between the Soyuz itself and the station, so that when the hatches are open, there's no pressure across the seal.
Understood.
И ждем от вас первый замер.
And we are waiting for the first measurement.
Пошел. Готов.
So we just refined our actual confirmation of the docking at 8:49 p.m., not 8:48. So the docking time.
Internal docking and transfer system.
5:50.
We're getting some separate words here, so we'll stand by on the actual formal docking time.
730. Pressure in BO 803.
Приборном
865.
865.
And 865
Параметры.
in the instrumentation compartment.
803, 865.
Moscow, did you copy? Yes, we copied. 830, 803, 865.
5:48, 30. 31.
Time 48, 30, 31.
Если Виктор Артем склон опрос, крюки открыты и не горят. Отключаем визир прицел.
Hooks open indicator is not illuminated.
Передаю 18. Не горит.
Хорошо.
Either 18 is not illuminated.
Подсветку ВСК.
Отключено.
Хорошо. Снимаем ВСК 4.
VSCA 4 to off.
Для крышки.
Если достанешь, хорошо.
Да. Yes.
So this is Mission Control Houston. So the official docking time, 8:49 p.m. Central Time, 9:49 this evening Eastern Time. But in any case, it'll be about, we're looking at around 10:30 this evening Central for the actual hatch opening. And of course, we'll be monitoring that. But we'll stand by to ensure that the hooks and latches have been closed. And then the process of the crew members settling in, performing all of the leak checks that are required, the pressurization equalization between the spacecraft. That's a parallel effort choreographed on both sides of the hatch, both on the station side and on the Soyuz side. There's a small area known as a vestibule that's between those two hatches. So there's they ensure that that too is equalized with pressure, so that when the hatches are open, the pressure essentially is the same, both on the Soyuz, in the Soyuz, and on the station side.
There was